Alright, so in this video, we'll be installing qBittorrent coupled with Gluetun. For VPN services, we'll be using Surfshark, and I'll also be connecting qBittorrent to Sonarr and Radarr, so you can download that one show that is officially released on BitTorrent, Pioneer 1. If you don't know how Gluetun works with qBittorrent, let me quickly show you. This is your network. Your laptop is here, and this is your router. When you connect to a torrent, you essentially connect to a swarm of other computers, also known as peers, which all share the same file that you're downloading in bits and pieces. But sometimes the participants in the swarm could be an undercover peer. Let's just call them Haley. They note down all the addresses of the participants and send a notice for downloading their favorite Linux distro. And this notice initially goes to your ISP, and your ISP promptly forwards that to you. And depending on the frequency and the number of files, you could be either fined or completely banned from using that ISP again. But here's the best part. If you're using a privacy-oriented VPN, your IP address will be masked, and only the VPN address will be shared with other peers. That means you can happily download the latest and the greatest Hannah Montana Linux distro without worrying about being discovered online. By the way, there is a new 2026 version available for it. Yes, I came across it while writing this explainer script. Anyways, now let's install it. Okay, so before we begin the Docker Compose code, we need to get our VPN credentials. And I'm using Surfshark, and this is not a sponsored video. It's just that I've been using Surfshark for the past 5 years, so I'm sticking to it. But if you end up using any other service providers, I'll link the official Gluetun documentation in the description. Okay, so I'm in my browser. Let's go to surfshark.com. Click on my account. Let me sign into my account now. Okay, so I'm logged into my account. Now let's go to VPN. Click on manual setup. Here, make sure that desktop or mobile is selected, and then click on WireGuard. Here you can use an old key pair, but I suggest that you create a new one for just qBittorrent. So I'll click on I don't have a key pair, and I'll name mine as qBittorrent VPN. Click on next, and here click on generate a new key pair. Okay, so copy these two keys and save them for now, and then click on choose location. Here you can select any country of choice from the list, but I usually prefer the fast server connection. This is because it gives me the closest server possible, and if it's completely saturated, then it automatically switches to the next best server. So let's click on download the configuration here, and click on download files. Now we got the configuration file. So let's go to downloads folder and then open it up. This is the file that is downloaded. Now we need to open it to actually read the contents. So let's right click it, open with text edit. Now if you're using Windows, you can just right click on the file and open with Notepad. So these are the credentials for the server. Let me keep this aside and open up the terminal to connect to my home server. Okay, so I'm inside my terminal and I've connected to my home server via SSH. So first let me go into Docker folder. I'll create a new folder here for qBittorrent. So mkdir qbit. Let me change into that directory. Here I'll create the Docker Compose file. Okay, now I'll paste the code here. Let me zoom out. Alright, so as you can see, there are two services here. One is for Gluetun and the other is for qBittorrent. We will configure each one now, and let's start with Gluetun. Okay, so in this code, we just need to update this section here. Now let me open up the notepad that had the Surfshark configuration. Okay, so first I'll copy the private key from here and then paste it here. Okay, so don't copy the private key because I've already deleted the configuration before uploading this video. Next, I'll copy the IP address and then paste it in the next line. and for server host names it is the endpoint. Here we don't need the port address, so I'll just remove them. The next thing is DNS. Let me copy it here and paste it. You can update the time zone here or remove it completely, but here for me it is the correct time zone, so I'll let it stay. The next one is firewall, but right now if you don't need Gluetun to be available outside your container, you just leave this out as a comment. Okay, for qBittorrent you just need to update one thing, that is mapping volumes. I have my external drive path here. You can update it according to your own requirements. One important thing is, if possible, make sure that your media and your downloads are on the same drive. So when the downloads are done, Radarr or Sonarr can hard link and organize the files, and you can still seed it back to the community. Okay, so I'm making a community request here because recently I was trying to download my favorite Linux distro and nobody was seeding it, so the download failed. So consider seeding for your favorite Linux distro and giving it back to the community. I have done my part, now it's your turn. Okay, so let me close the terminal now, save it, and done. Now let me run the docker pull command, docker compose pull. Okay, so let's give it a second for it to be downloaded. Okay, so it's downloaded, so let's go ahead and start the container. Docker compose. Alright, the container started up successfully. Let's go into a browser and continue to configure it. Okay, so I have my browser up. Let me open a new tab and put in my IP address. So I've set qBittorrent to use port 8092. This is because I have multiple other services running on port 80. Let's hit enter. There we go, we have it. And admin. The username is going to be admin. But for the password, you need to get the temporary password from the logs. So let me go back to my terminal. Okay, and run docker logs tail last 100 from qBittorrent. If I scroll down, so my username is admin and this is the password. So let me copy this here and go back to my browser now, and I'll paste the password here and log in. Okay, so we are logged into our qBittorrent client now. Before we begin doing anything, we need to do one important thing so that Gluetun is always binded with qBittorrent. So go to tools, click on options. Here go to advanced, and on the network interface click this and select tunnel 0. If you keep it to any interface or Ethernet 0, then it's going to fall back to your public IP address and not go through the tunnel. So make sure you set this and scroll down, save it. Now let's change the password so that we don't need to always paste the same temporary password. So let's go to web UI. And here we can set a new password. I'll just set a simple password for now. Scroll down, click on save. Okay, here I always make sure to keep the external IP address visible in the toolbar. To do that, go to tools, options, and under behavior, scroll down and click on show IP address in the status bar and click on save. So it shows the external IP address, and this is the Surfshark IP address. Okay, so now the qBittorrent is set up. Let's connect it to Sonarr and Radarr so it can complete the media automation. So first let's go to Radarr. So I'll open a new tab and go to 192. Here I'll go into settings, download clients, add a new client, and I'll look for qBittorrent. And then just put in the username as admin and password. Now test the connection. update the host address and test. Oh, update the port as well. 2 test, and that's working now. Now let's save this. Now Radarr is connected to qBittorrent. Now let's go ahead and set it up to Sonarr. So let me open up a new tab, type in the IP address for Sonarr, 8989, enter. Okay, so here we'll do the same thing. We'll go into settings, download client, add a new client, scroll down to qBittorrent, make sure to add in the username, password and the local host and also the port ID. Now let's test it. It's working. So let's save it and we are done. Okay, our setup of qBittorrent with Gluetun to Sonarr and Radarr has been completed. With this setup you can complete the media automation process, and in the next video I'll be installing an NZB client. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing because I post videos every single week. And if this video helped you, consider dropping a like because that motivates me to make better videos. So see you in the next one.